is Shaketta Thomas with COABE, and we are live here in the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee, celebrating our 25th year with COABE at the 2024 Annual Conference. And I am so excited to be joined here today by a lot of passionate learners and educators who are just so dedicated to the field of adult education. And with me now is Hector Martinez, our president-elect. Say hi, Hector.
Thank you, Shaketta, and thank you for COABE to having me. It is a pleasure to be here in Nashville, and it's a pleasure to be sharing all this time with all of you here in Nashville. And for those attending virtually, thank you very much for your patience, and thank you very much for your attendance.
Well, you know, a part of the reason why I wanted all of us to come together, Hector, is to kind of share the different walks and the different paths there is to adult education. And I know for you, it's been a unique experience, and I wanted to capture that experience here today. So tell me, you know, when did you first come into the field of adult education, and how did you get there?
You know, it is a really interesting question, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story to answer your question. First of all, me and my family came to the States in 1999 to the state of Texas, and then we moved to Kansas in 2000. At that time, my family, we have my wife, we have a kid 5 years of age, 3 years, and twins of a year and a half. Then it was a rough time. It was a really rough time. Then when we moved to Kansas, I started working on the meat plant in the evenings, and I volunteered in the adult education center. And I was volunteer for different times, but the hard part of that was that I was working in the evenings from 11 to 7, and then I was volunteer from 9 to noon, 1 to 3, and 5 to 8. Then there was not a lot of time to sleep, but I knew that it was something else would come. Then at that time, in March in 2001, March 2001, I received the opportunity to work for the same center that I was taking some classes and volunteer, and then I became an instructor, and then in the couple of years I became a coordinator, and by 2006 I became the director for the same center that I was working. And I feel passionate about adult education because I was seeing from my experience, how do we transform families? When we start bringing some of that information to home, my kids were replicating that to their school. Then I was vivid that then after 20 years of being a director for that local program, I became the state director in Kansas. Then I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased to be a president-elect because I know I can touch more lives, and that is my passion, and that is my dream. It is helping more people as me.
And touching lives is something that you definitely do, and sharing your joy of education and really getting out there with your advocacy work and efforts to address the gap or the need there is for the immigrant learner. So today we have a lot of immigrants in our country that there's a void educationally, and how do we address that void? How do we get those learners into our programs to give them the skills and the language skills that they need and the skills that they need to enter into the workforce? What can we do better as programs?
You know, from being an immigrant, I know it took me 20 years from residency to citizenship, because in 2020 I received my citizenship. Then knowing that path is not going to be easy. But the way that we need to connect with those immigrants is that we need to go and meet their needs, whatever they are. Right now we have a crisis, and I will call crisis because we're not meeting the needs of those immigrants. And we're not meeting their needs because they're not finding the way to be in with us. And they're not finding the way because we're not providing services to them. Then we need to go and meet them where they are. We're not gonna wait in our classrooms for them to come. because they don't know how to use transportation. They don't know how to utilize the childcare system. Then we need to go there. We need to find the way to provide our services in where they are.
Meet them where exactly they are to be able to address that need is where a good starting point for a lot of programs. And then on the opposite end, we see a lot of times that immigrants are, kind of hesitant for coming to programs, even if they do have the transportation or even if they do have the child care services. They may feel as though that's not the place for them. So if you can look directly into the camera and talk directly to many of those with the ESL barrier or language barrier, may have you, or just not sure if a local program is really a great fit for them, what would you say?
I think I will invite them. I will invite them to start connecting with some of the local communities and local adult education centers. And I will say that they're not alone. In Spanish, no están solos. We are here to help, but we need to find the ways and we need to find the right channels of communication where you are and how you're going to be able to fulfill those needs. Then come and help you in getting that American dream that you came to this country with. It's not going to be an easy, because I vivid that and I live that. But with help, with the right support, you can make it.
You're a true testament of how beneficial adult education programs can truly be in one's life and their family and the impact of their community. I am so proud to be serving on the board alongside of you, for you have taught me so much, and your reach and your extent is just so far and wide. But here's the one thing that is true, and I'm hearing your message. As Hector was able to achieve that dream of his, so are all of you. So never stop. It's never too late to enter into our programs. Like we say, education is for everyone at any time, and we are here to fill in that gap in any way that we can. Thank you so much, Hector, for joining me today, and I hope you're having a grand old time here in the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. Thank you, Hector.
Thank you, Shaketta. Thank you very much.
All righty.